So sitting next to me is the Prusa Mini, and for about $8, you can now add Wi-Fi support to this 3D printer, which means you'll now be able to take all the G-code files that you've sliced on your computer and wirelessly send them directly to the 3D printer for all of your printing needs. And yes, I'm this excited about it because it is 2022 and all of our 3D printers at this point should have Wi-Fi support. And before you can get started with this, you need to buy a board that will enable the Wi-Fi capabilities on the Prusa Mini. That'll run you about $8 on Amazon for one. It's an ESP8266, or I paid $9 for 3 of them. I'll have links down below. Next, you wanna make sure that you have your Prusa Mini updated to the latest firmware, which is really easy to do. You go directly to the Prusa website, you're gonna load them on the USB stick directly from your computer. You're gonna power off your Prusa Mini, plug in the USB drive, turn on the Prusa Mini. It will recognize those files and prompt you through the process to updating the firmware to the printer. We're then gonna make sure that we power off the machine and have it unplugged, and then we're gonna turn the machine around backwards and we can get access to that back panel, which we're gonna remove the screw from, and we're gonna proceed with trying to uncouple that power switch from the side panels, which can be a little finicky and a little tricky. Make sure you're using something like an Allen key to help leverage the little pressure points there to help get it loose. It was kind of a pain. You're then gonna take your ESP8266 Wi-Fi board and plug it into those now slots that are free and visible that were previously covered up by that power switch. You're gonna reposition all of those cables and then close up that panel again. We can now power on the machine, and you should be now prompted with a notification that you can now process through and run through the setup and configuration wizard for the Wi-Fi. Now make sure you have the USB drive plugged into the Prusa Mini, because the setup process is gonna actually generate a Wi-Fi credentials file that will then be loaded directly on that USB stick, which you're then gonna take over to your computer and then update with your actual Wi-Fi account. Also, this only seems to work with 2G Wi-Fi networks, not 5G. At least that's what happened for me. I could not get this to connect to my 5G network. And then take that USB drive that contains the credentials and then load it back into your Prusa Mini and hit continue. And fingers crossed everything connects, and you'll see the Wi-Fi connection light up in the top corner. And congratulations, you've now connected your Prusa Mini to your Wi-Fi network, but we're not done just yet, because we still actually need to do some configuration work over on your PC to actually get it connected to the Prusa Mini. The first thing that we're gonna need is the IP address of your Prusa Mini, which can be found under the settings, then network section. And while you're in the network section, you need to click on the Prusa link option to get your API key, which you'll need to actually connect your Prusa Slicer directly to the printer. Then within Prusa Slicer on your computer, you wanna navigate over to the printer settings tab, then click on the gear icon. The first thing you're gonna do is give your printer a name. Then you can assign the IP address and the API key. And then the next time that you slice your file in Prusa Slicer, you'll have a new option to send the file directly to your printer. Now, if you need to upload a G-code file that someone else sent you, or maybe you sliced it in another software, you can use that same IP address in a browser on your computer to connect to Prusa Connect to actually connect and send and upload the G-code file directly to the printer. Now, keep in mind, it is not fast. A small benchy file that I have printed here took about 2 to 3 minutes for that to actually wirelessly transfer. I honestly thought that would have been a lot faster. But I'm very excited about this. I'm also excited about the new update that's coming with these new supports that I thought were gonna be really easy to, I thought like, hey, I was gonna just rip these off real quick for you guys, but I can't actually get them off. So yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. It's now crumbling off. This new support option that's coming with the next firmware update for Prusa Slicer, which is really exciting, and just honestly very excited to see some of the updates that are coming to this machine. It's again one of my big workhorses when it comes to working with my Etsy shop and printing files directly off of the Prusa Mini. So hopefully this helps some of you out there. And again, for like $8, you can now add Wi-Fi support, and then you have to just jump through a whole bunch of hoops to actually use it, but it's a workable solution. Hey, thanks so much for watching all. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters for your continued support of me making videos here on the YouTubes. If you're interested in more information about that, you'll find links down below. And thanks again for watching all. I'll see you next time. Bye now.